Hey everyone, and welcome back to another trip around Indianapolis to see if we can find a bunch of old video games or toys or whatever piques our interest. And first up here, we've got the Exchange over on the east side of Indianapolis. And well, there's not really too much change since the last time we were here. First up in the PlayStation case, well, we've got some Final Fantasies. And we've got Point Blank 2 there. I am a huge fan of the Point Blank series. They were some really great light gun shooting games, some of the best probably on the system. And over here in the Sega Saturn import case that no one ever buys anything from is a Game Boy Advance Breath of Fire. I've never actually seen an import version of a Game Boy Advance game, so that's kind of cool to see, especially in a box. The rest of these, though, stuff that I really have no clue about. A lot of people have actually asked us to check out the Nintendo 64 sections. This really isn't my thing, so if you guys see any decent prices on these games, let me know. I've never really been a Nintendo 64 collector, or even as a kid, I wasn't that big of a fan of the system. So yeah, let me know. Down here we're seeing something that's becoming very commonplace in these stores, a lot of Sega Genesis minis. They're going for full price here, but I've seen them down to like 40 or 50 bucks at other stores that are similar. So if you're looking to buy one of those, now's your chance. Up here we've got some more. We've got a nice little Mega Man collection there. And some Final Fantasies, along with Super Mario RPG back there. And over here, we've got King of the Dragons, which we just did a video review of that on this very channel. So maybe check that out if you're a fan of that game. See if it's worth 75 bucks. We got Conquer over here for 100 bucks. Now this is a Nintendo 64 game I love, but yeah, I don't know about 100 bucks. Again, let me know if that's a good price. And over here in some more PlayStation games, we got Revolution X. Hey, I love that game. I know it's terrible. You don't have to tell me. Enough people have told me it's terrible, but goddammit, I still love it. And down here we've got the Dynasty Warriors fighting game. I don't know if any of you remember that, but that was that weird time where they made a Dynasty Warriors fighting game on the PlayStation 1, and it wasn't that bad. It was actually kind of fun. It's kind of like Tekken. Over here we got Shadowrun for the Genesis. That's nice to see. Don't really see that too often. And down here we've got Rock and Roll Racing for the Genesis. I would have actually bought that, but the price was just a bit too much. A bit too much for what I wanted to actually pay for that. But man, that's a great game. Down here we've got a Game Gear. Now, I've always wanted a Game Gear, but I'm not sure if 75 bucks is worth it. It looks like it's in pretty good condition. I don't know, would you guys buy this? Next up, we're going to check out the disc replay that's over on the west side of Indianapolis, and I don't know, we'll see if they've got anything different since the last time we were here. Starting off up top, we've got a bunch of in-box 3DO games. I actually love Return Fire there. Came close to buying that. And we've got Snowjob down here on the bottom left for 75. If you don't know what Snowjob is, maybe go look that up. It's really something that exists. Besides that, we got some Sega CD games, some Sega Saturn games. But right below that, by God, we have Rise of the Robots for the Game Gear for $330. So if you're that poor soul that is looking to complete your Game Gear collection, and all you need is Rise of the Robots, we've got it for you at this disc replay for $330. Try not to cry too much. And down here we've got some TurboGrafx games and some Sega Dreamcast games. Always good to see Grandia 2. Not enough people played that back in the day. It is a great RPG. Love the first. The second one is just as good. Down here a few more TurboGrafx games, including Impossible, a favorite of Jeremy P's. Well worth that 15-buck price tag they got on there. Up here in the NES case, we've got Dragon Warrior in the box for 75 bucks and Mega Man in the box for $300. Love that box art. It's the best. Guardian Legend's a great game, and besides that, not your standard collection of NES games that you'd see in a place like this. Below that, we've got a thing that I constantly see in these places, which is in-box Intellivision collections. And I'm not sure what it is with Intellivision collectors or people that had an Intellivision, but I see more in-box stuff from that console than I have any other console ever. I guess they just love to keep their damn boxes for that console. On the PlayStation racks over here, not too much. We got a Resident Evil 2 that was kind of ruined by a Blockbuster sticker. I can just replace that case. Blasto. Did you guys like Blasto? I kind of did. I like the art style. I know it really got... I don't know. A lot of people didn't like that game back in the day. I thought it was alright. And I don't know if any of you see anything that you like on these. I mean, usually it's just a bunch of sports games. But if you see anything I'm missing, let me know. Not missing Pandemonium. No, that's not great. Twisted Metal 2 there. That is a great game. But that's gonna really do it for here. And finally is a place that we didn't even know existed. It's just this place in a random strip mall with a bunch of medical offices and stuff like that. But it's called the Toy Drop, and it's got a ton of awesome stuff in here. Not the least of which is this nice little collection of in-box turtle figures, the original turtle figures. And man, I would love to have that Krang and Shredder, but the prices for this stuff, I mean, no matter where you look, usually around or over $100 for just about any of these that are still in the box. Anybody remember Sky Commanders? I do. I had one. You put them on strings and they fly around the house and it annoys the hell out of your parents. Over here we've got Jabba's Barge, which I believe is the one that was kickstarted by fans, or actually funded by fans. It is an official product, but it's pretty cool. I've just never been a big Star Wars toys fan. I did have that monster there, I forget its name, but I shoved a lot of marbles and small action figures down its throat. And over here we've got some play sets. The Ghostbusters playset I would have loved to have as a kid, but I don't think I ever saw it. And that Ghostbusters Proton Pack back there, again, one of the things I always wanted as a kid, just never got. I did get that Castle Grayskull though, one of my all-time favorite toys, just always played with that thing. Over here we've got a ton of just old puzzle sets and board games. I'd love to look through a lot of these, but I'm not going to bore you. But they had a nice little collection. I believe you can just kind of take these out and play them if you want to. We got Fart the game there. And over here just some PlayStation games. Nothing that you wouldn't expect to find. Down here though, we do have Vigilante 8 for the Nintendo 64 for $15. It's a pretty great game. I like that game a lot. And 720 Blades of Steel for the NES. Got a few consoles just sitting around over here like Nintendo, GameCube, and Nintendo 64. Like the board games, I believe you can just grab any of those games that were just on that shelf, throw them in these consoles and play them there on that TV if you want to, if you're curious or just want to play some games. A couple of Atari 2600s over here. Got the original and the Junior sitting right behind it. That was the one that was going for like $130 in a previous video that we did. Over here we got Jar Jar staring me down. In this case over here is basically my entire childhood, minus these She-Ra toys and ponies and stuff like that. But below that, the Masters of the Universe stuff, yes, I had pretty much all of these. I was a huge collector of these figures back in the day as a kid. Man, still kick myself for just throwing those out someday. Got the Super 7 He-Man figures here. Do not buy those for $60. Those are the imports. They actually have them, they're selling those now here in the US in the classic the boxes or whatever for like $20-25. And that shelf, a few things. I had that walker thing. It was so loud. Over in the case, we do have a few games and things that you'd expect to be behind a case. Got that cool Pac-Man 2 electronic game. Love seeing old stuff like that. Not sure why these Atari 2600 games are back there, probably just to take up space. But back there on that Nintendo Power, there's a couple of Lynx games sitting there, and there's a reason they're sitting there. We'll get back to that in just a second. A few NES games, got DuckTales there. Masters of the Universe model kit. It's kind of cool. And of course, Duke Nukem sitting over there. So the reason those Lynx games were sitting over there was because there was an actual Lynx console sitting on top of it for $25 that my brother bought before I could even film the thing. It's not in the greatest shape, but hey, it's kind of cool just to find a Lynx at a random toy store. Anyway, that's going to do it for us today, guys. Thanks for joining us on this trip around Indianapolis. We had fun. We hope you did too. And hopefully we'll be back here pretty soon with another of these videos.